Welcome to another exciting weekend of Formula One. Today's practice session takes place at the venue of the very first Formula One World Championship Grand Prix. We're here at Silverstone. Anthony Davidson, you've driven this circuit more than a few times in your career, and you've been around long enough to remember the pre-wing layout as well. But how do you like Silverstone in its current guise?
Well, the old circuit was a lot of fun, of course, but I do like the current layout. The reprofiled Abbey is faster than it used to be, and I always felt it was missing a sort of slow technical section. And now the corners up at Village and the Loop gives us that. So yeah, I'm a fan, and on top of that, I think it's created some more overtaking opportunities.
What's up, YouTube land? Xeno Gaming back with episode number 30 of my F1 2019 career mode here today at the British Grand Prix, and look at that. 2 engine upgrades, 2 aerodynamic upgrades for this Grand Prix. We've had some luck in terms of the failure department, and yeah, so big jump in the development. Now sees us the 3rd best car on the grid, so we could be on for a really good weekend here in Silverstone. So that's exciting news to start off the episode here today. And yeah, after the result last time out in Austria with the podium, now we we have the opportunity to be able to back that podium up with potentially another one here today if we have the pace, which looks like we could. And I'm just looking here, and the aero is now a really good spot, and chassis is now down to 5th, so we're going to start shifting a little bit of focus away from aero towards chassis. We still need to work on that engine power, but it's all looking very rosy for us. As you can see, Red Bull still have a pretty good gap. Ferrari are slipping in the standings right now. They're just the 7th best car on the grid, but for some reason it still hasn't affected them on track. They still seem to have pace on track, but on paper they're not looking so good. And if you notice there also, we have a wet qualifying on our hands. Now it's going to start off dry, but the rain will come at some point, and that could affect our grid position, because I don't think I'm as good as the AI in the wet. So we'll see how that all plays out. And we do have these warm bits on the power unit still, and the plan is to finish this race with them and switch out all the warm bits for the next race in Germany. So yeah, that's the plan there, and we'll just, yeah, hopefully we have a good qualifying and we're not too far down the grid. Hopefully we can get to Q3 if it's raining, so hopefully it doesn't rain till Q3 or something like that, so we can have a chance at least to make it through to qualifying. And as you can see, the results here from this year so far, with our best result last time out in Austria. So without further ado, let's get into the qualifying. So here we are, guys, in qualifying, and we're just going to check the weather.
Expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now. Dry seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
So the weather is on its way, 10 to 15 minutes. So we need to put in a lap time quickly here in Q1. Now here's our first flying lap. We got Lewis Hamilton in the way, the home hero, and I thought he cost me time at the time, but he actually didn't. Now here we going through Maggots and Beckett's. The car's all out of shape. We get a poor run onto the Chapel Straight, and out of Chapel onto Hanger Straight. Now coming into Stowe, got to brake as late as you can. Lance Stroll sets the pace so far, and now Lando Norris is setting the pace for his home Grand Prix, and McLaren's home race. They are going to be looking for a good result here, as now we come to end the lap, and it's only a 27.4, so a little bit disappointing first lap here. We know we got time to make up through Maggots and Beckett's, which we do on this occasion. You can see we're pretty much even with our last lap until Maggots Beckett's. We lost half a second that last lap through there, and now come into club, Gotta hit that apex nicely. Back end wants to turn on you always out of this corner. And across the line we improved to a 26.9, which puts us 8th place in the standings. And then the rain would come, so I pretty much did back-to-back as soon as possible runs there, and that was good enough to put us into Q2. And the rain did come for the end of Q3, and there were drivers trying to sit sometimes in the rain. It just wasn't working. As now you can see Q2, it is intermediate conditions here, but unfortunately it's heavy rain, so the rain's getting heavier. So this is the best of the track conditions is going to be for this session. So this is the most important lap. This is the lap where we need to deliver. And here we come around the final corner. So difficult on traction. You can see losing the back end, trying to fight the car all the way through the last corner and come across the line. Luckily that little moment there won't really affect the lap time. It's only a 1 minute 40. And I wasn't sure how good that time was at the time. And obviously it wasn't very good, as the track was worsening. The only man we beat was Danny Kvyat. So that's going to be 14th place here for this afternoon's British Grand Prix, with Kvyat also being out. Bottas also eliminated, so that's unfortunate for him. Now, let's get into the race.
The pain of parting is nothing to the joy of meeting again. And how joyous indeed it is to be back at Silverstone once more for the British Grand Prix. The queues to get in this morning extended miles back down the A.43, such as the enthusiasm for Formula One in this country. The 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit in Great Britain is hallowed ground to the Formula One faithful. We have 18 corners that wrap around this former World War II airbase, and some good passing opportunities at the end of the DRS zones. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about the captain. No grid penalties, no mitigating circumstances, just a poor qualifying performance and a very disappointing start position for them today.
It's not a nice feeling, I promise you. They've got a quick car underneath them, but they've got onto the grid today and they need a pair of binoculars to see the start lights. They'll be desperate for a good start to make up for some of that deficit.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and starting alongside him P2 is Sebastian Vettel. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Gasly, Verstappen, Devon Butler and Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Weber, Ricciardo and Sergio Perez, Hamilton, Hülkenberg, Valtteri Bottas, the captain, Kvyat, Norris, Lance Stroll and Kevin Magnussen. Grosjean and Alexander Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
The team are expecting a lot after your podium last race. Concentrate on getting into the points and push on from there.
So, welcome everybody to the British Grand Prix. Today, a one-stop strategy. And as you can see, it was soft to medium, but I'm going to switch that up. I'm going to go medium to soft. I want to have the quicker tyre at the end of the race today, and have that tyre advantage for the second half of this Grand Prix. And hopefully we can just stick with a pack that's going to be fighting hard in the first stint, as that tends to be the situation on F1 games. And then after the pit stops, they kind of separate a little bit more. Great qualifying for our teammate Giovinazzi. He's put himself 7th on the grid today. So we're going to have a lot of work to do to be able to beat him from back here in 14th. The two Ferraris, once again, they're on pole. So it doesn't matter what it says on paper, they perform on the track. So that's all that matters at the end of the day. We know the Red Bulls are going to be quick around here as well. So we'll see what we can do. The British heroes, Hamilton and Norris, and Devon Butler as well, of course. However, Lewis Hamilton should realistically be in the best position to score points or have a really good finish today, maybe a podium. But even though despite his grid position isn't the best, so we'll see what he can do today from there for the British local. Valtteri Bottas, what can he do from 13th on the grid? It's going to be tricky for him as well. So, yeah, hopefully we can have a good race here. The revs rise, and it's 5 red lights, and it's go for... Oh, I'm a bit early. Let's go for the British Grand Prix, and a decent start by us. Bottas gets a good one on the left, and not challenging the turn 1. We're going to brake real hard for turn 1 there, go real slow, but now what can we do in the turn 2? They're going to go slowly again. We're going to go down the inside of Valtteri Bottas here into turn 2. He's going to try and squeeze us to the apex, now side by side with Bottas. We're going to try and drive around the outside, and now he's back on the inside, side by side out of the corner. We get a good exit. We leave him space on the inside. We sweep around the outside of Valtteri Bottas, and now come into Brooklands here. We are behind Nico Hulkenberg and sitting in 13th place, so again a 1 spot here so far in this opening lap, so it's a decent start, not a negative one at all. And yeah, we'll see what we can do from this spot. We should be on a really good strategy here today, and yeah, we'll see if what that brings. Hopefully we can stick with these guys, they don't pull away from us, and we're going to be able to be in a strong position later in this Grand Prix, as now we come down the hanger straight for the first time, as you can see the cars up ahead battling hard for position, as now we come through and not able to, but we get a great run on Hulkenberg out of the corner. Here's Perez, we're going to have a look down his inside as well, we're not alongside him, and that was really unexpected. Had to go off the track there, but we get it done on Nico Hulkenberg. I don't know if that was an illegal move, but it didn't pop up in the game, so I'm good with it. And yeah, brilliant exit off Stowe corner there, and we get past Hulkenberg. Now Perez is going really slow. Jeff's speaking at the wrong time. We're going down the inside of Sergio Perez into turn 3, and now back through the loop here. And Perez is going to try and squeeze us to the exit of the track. And now we fly around the outside like we did the Bottas on the last lap, on lap 1. We go back past Sergio Perez. Great move by us there, moving to 11th. And now on to lap 11. You can see Lewis Hamilton fighting with Devon Butler. And Devon Butler, yes, he did start ahead of Hamilton, but Hamilton is in the better car. And Ricciardo also up ahead. A great qualifying by Butler, and a McLaren that hasn't performed too well this year. They've only scored a few points, but he's put them inside the top 10 for his home race. As Hamilton, though, pushes him out the way through through Copse, sorry. And we take advantage of that and are able to find the gap to pass Devon Butler as well. So Hamilton very aggressive in trying to make his way back through the field here today. And we are able to take advantage of that. And so is Danny Kvyat, who also gets past Devon Butler. So not good for Devon Butler at all there. And now Hamilton is going for it on our fellow countryman Daniel Ricciardo, and he's got through on Daniel Ricciardo. So now we are going to be next on in Ricciardo, and we're going to see if we can take advantage of Ricciardo being overtaken by Hamilton here. As we now come through Copse, we get a good run through here, and we're right behind Daniel Ricciardo, and we're going to go to the inside here, and we pull alongside, we give him the space, and do that really well to go around the outside of Ricciardo there through Maggots and Beckett's. Great move, and now we've got DRS just to defend from him as well as DRS to maybe attack Hamilton as we're closing on Lewis. Can we get down the inside here into Stowe? No, we're not close enough, unfortunately. So that's P9 though, so we're making really good progress despite being on the medium tyre. I did check before the race, and everybody else is on the soft tyre. I'm the only one on the mediums. And here we go. Hamilton's passed our teammate Giovinazzi now, and now we're on the back of Gio. And we're not going to have a look here through Maggots and Beckett's. Going to try and keep it a bit cleaner for the two Toro Rosso cars. And yeah, now we're on the back of Antonio Giovinazzi, and we've got the DRS. He's got DRS as well, but we're a bit closer. We're right tucked underneath his rear wing here, and we're going to pull out alongside. We're going to brake hard, and I was worried about braking into Lewis Hamilton there for a second, but we get the job done. A little bit of contact on the way through. Yellow flags now in the background. It's not my teammate. He's still right behind us, and it's actually for Danny Kvyat in the Racing Point car. Unfortunate that his race is over for the Russian, so retirement for Danny Kvyat, and that's unfortunate for him. As now we're going to set up on chasing Lewis Hamilton down in the Mercedes, and we've actually got the pace on him. It looks like we've closed up to the back of him despite being on the different tyre. The medium tyre might start becoming the better race tyre at this point over the soft tyre. The soft does wear out obviously a lot quicker compared to the medium. We're looking to go to lap 16. The soft runner is looking to go to lap 11. We're now right up behind Lewis Hamilton with DRS. We're going to pull alongside on the hanger straight into Stowe and get the move done there. So Great move there, and we'll see what we can do. And yeah, good move now into Club and Vale, and we're able to hold on. Hamilton's going to have a look down there into turn 1, possibly because the AI seem to get really good speed down the straight. We go to the middle of the track. Hamilton's looking to the inside. We're going to leave him space, but we sweep around the outside through turn 1 and move up into 7th place. Next up is Kimi Räikkönen. So now we're coming through here. It's lap 10. We're chasing Räikkönen, and Jeff's got a bit of a message about Kimi Räikkönen now. So we're actually going to let Jeff speak.
Okay, some information on Raikkonen. They seem to have an issue.
So Räikkönen has an issue, and we're going to have to take advantage of that. This is the very next lap, and you can see how much time he's lost. So he's definitely got an issue with his car. You can see how slow he is out of Copse, and we're going to go down the inside of Räikkönen and sweep past him through Maggots and Beckett's. So good move there by us, and that's able to separate ourselves from Hamilton that little bit more. And Daniel Ricciardo is sticking with us as well, as Jeff interrupts again.
Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
So yeah, we are... So Ricciardo's sticking with us, as it's now lap 11 though. A lot of the front runners are going to pit, and this is where the first drivers will pit. So we're going to have to, one of the 2 drivers have to pit. Our teammate Giovinazzi is in here on lap 11.
Antonio in the pits.
And we are, coming in to be 3rd place. Now, this is the lap 13, and a car is here parked on the side of the road. Not sure who it is at this point. It's a pink car. It's Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll is out of the Grand Prix. So disaster for Racing Point. Both their cars out of this Grand Prix. As now we move to lap 16 as we come into the pits. And I had really good pace towards the end of this stint. I was setting personal best lap times. I set my best lap of the Grand Prix on lap 15, and we're setting another good lap here on lap 16 before we had to come in. As you can see, a personal best in the first sector. So I'm feeling good at coming onto the soft tyre for the last 9 laps, and we'll see where this puts us. We were ahead of Hamilton and behind Weber. Here come the 2 Red Bulls, they're 1st and 2nd. The 2 Ferraris in 3rd and 4th. Here's Weber in 5th place. And next up is Hamilton. Hamilton is in 7th. As we exit the pit lane, here comes Lewis Hamilton now. It's going to be close, but we're going to get ahead of Lewis Hamilton, so he has not been able to undercut us here. So our pace was really good to end that stint with a clear track. Hamilton had a clear track too, and you can see Bottas behind him as well. So Valtteri Bottas has made up a bit of time. As now we set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on our first racing lap, and now lap 20 we're behind Lucas Weber here, and we've got DRS pulling quite a bit more than I thought it would. He's going to go defensive here. We're going to look to the outside. He made some mistake. He locks up into Brooklands, and now we're going to go around the outside of him into Brooklands now with the inside for Luffield, and that's a great move by us there. We had to avoid Weber on entry to Brooklands, and that put us in a good spot for Luffield to get past Weber for 5th place. And then we're going to chase down 6 laps for the 2 Ferraris. Moving to lap 23 now. We got to their DRS. We'd sat behind watching them scrap for the last few laps. Now we are pushing the 2 Ferraris to see if we can get onto the podium for the 2nd consecutive race. I think it's a bit of an ask now to catch the 2 Red Bulls. So a 3rd, it looks like it could be the best result for us today, as now we're getting a really good run here compared to Charles Leclerc, and we're going to fly through here with a lot more grip on the soft tyre compared to the medium. And you can see we're now down the inside of Leclerc. We're going to sweep around the outside, leave him the room. We used all the track there, almost off the track there through Maggots and Beckett's. And now as we come through Chapel, we are ahead of Leclerc, and we've got DRS on Sebastian Vettel. Jeff interrupts again, and we're going to go down the inside. Easy move with the DRS, so had a much better run than Vettel on the straight, and we get past into 3rd place. Now we've got 3 laps to be able to hold off the Ferrari cars for this podium. We do have better pace, but we make a little mistake here through Vale, and now Vettel is right up our gearbox, and I know he's going to attack here into turn 1. We go on the hot lap though just to prevent that. Now Leclerc's looking up the outside of Vettel, and the Ferrari's going side by side through turn 1. Vettel remains ahead though, and now we've got 3 laps. I don't think we can catch the Red Bulls. They are fighting very hard. Gasly in 2nd, Verstappen in 1st. It's very important. This is a really important race for the Red Bulls to claw back points on Lewis Hamilton in the championship, with Hamilton down in 6th place, or 7th place, sorry. As now we move to the last lap. You can see Pierre Gasly has overtaken Max Verstappen on the through Stowe on the last lap of the Grand Prix, and Pierre Gasly is going to come through to win the British Grand Prix. Verstappen will finish second, and we're going to come home to make it an all Honda and all Red Bull powered podium. Unbelievable for Toro Rosso and Red Bull.
Great drive. We're really happy with that performance.
Red Bull pulling out all the stops today. What a great win. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they secured here. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to the captain. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Meanwhile, Toro Rosso's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
So, wow, what a British Grand Prix we had here today, guys. Pierre Gasly wins the Grand Prix. Max Verstappen finishes second to make it a Red Bull 1-2, and I finished third to make it a Red Bull 1-2-3, an all Honda podium. I know we're technically not in a Red Bull car, we're in a Toro Rosso, but this Red Bull Toro Rosso, the connection is there. Valtteri Bottas is able to get to 8th behind his teammate Hamilton. Raikkonen finishes 9th, and so he was able to get his way to somehow resolve those issues and get into the points. So you can see for the championship, Hamilton's lead's cut to 13 points by Pierre Gasly, who's now in second place. We move up to ahead of points on Bottas. We are making good progress in the last two races in terms of the points. Giovinazzi not scoring as many points as we are, and he's going to have to lift his finger for the next few races. While we have this competitive car, as competitive as it is, and we're going to keep pushing the development, obviously, and we'll see how far we can move up the table. It's going to be difficult with our slow start to the season, though. But now, with the car developing really well, we are starting to push for consistent points and regular points finishes. So, 2 podiums in a row, which is unbelievable. The first time we've done that. So, that's really good news. And now we're going to get an engine upgrade. We'll go for this ERS one. We did have, I think, 75%, so 25% of the capacity of the ERS in that race not being able to use due to the energy store being that worn. But for the next race in Germany, I'm replacing the energy store, so we'll get rid of that. We also are going to do a chassis upgrade, because I believe the chassis is weaker than the aero now, and I want to try and build the chassis just 1 or 2 upgrades, and I'm going to decide to do this upgrade here, so I can go to that ultimate upgrade next. So I'm going to do this upgrade here for weight reduction, and we'll then try and get the ultimate one whenever we can have enough money or resource points to do that. So that's the plan in terms of that, and we probably won't touch the aerodynamics for now. Probably just stick between power and the chassis, and then we'll fiddle with the aero in about 5 races time or something. But hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next video in Germany. Till then, goodbye.